The Subcommittee on Oceans, Fisheries, and Coast Guard will come to order. Good morning, Dr. Lubchenco. Thank you for being here, and pleased that you could join us this morning. Before we start, I want to commend NOAA's employees for their work this past weekend to monitor the tsunami in the Pacific Ocean. On Saturday, we woke to learn about the devastating 8.8 earthquake that rocked Chile, and our thoughts are with the people of Chile as they work to recover from this horrible incident. We also learned that morning that the earthquake generated a tsunami, and we were lucky that this time because the tsunami waves were minimal. But more importantly, we know that we were prepared thanks to the Pacific Tsunami Warning System that NOAA operates. Coastal areas were evacuated and people were moved out of harm's way. And this is a clear example of the vital service that NOAA provides to this nation. This morning's hearing is divided into two parts. On the first panel, we'll hear from Dr. Lubchenco on the administration's FY 2011 budget request for National Ocean and Atmospheric Administration. And on the second panel, Dr. Todd Zisner, the Inspector General for the Department of Commerce, will join Dr. Lubchenco to discuss the recent report on NOAA's fishery enforcement programs and operations. Our oceans provide many things in our daily lives, and our ocean and coastal economies provide over 50,000 jobs for Americans and contribute to nearly 60% of our GDP. What many people don't realize is that our oceans and our coasts are in peril. Climate change, ocean acidification, sea level rise, pollution, overfishing threaten the health of our oceans and coastal communities, and with them, our economy. The FY 2011 budget request for NOAA, while a step in the right direction, falls far short of the necessary funding. For example, NOAA has rebuilt 12 commercial fisheries stocks since 2001. However, 46 stocks are overfished and 38 are subject to overfishing. Improved data collection and stock assessments continue to be sorely needed for effective management, yet the budget cuts funding for fisheries research and management programs as a whole, and it proposes nearly level funding for expanded annual stock assessments and improved data collection. Oceans play an essential role in regulating the climate and levels of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere, and since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, the oceans have absorbed about 1/3 of our carbon dioxide produced by human activities. Over 25 million tons of CO2 is dissolved into seawater every day. But the oceans do not escape unscathed. We are slowly acidifying the water. The effects of ocean acidification are poorly understood. More research and monitoring is necessary, especially adaptation strategies for industries and ecosystems. Yet NOAA's budget only provides $11 million for this critical mission. Most of the $806 million increase in the administration's that the administration is proposing for NOAA is dedicated to restructuring the acquisition of our nation's polar orbiting climate and weather satellites. If we do not include the increased funding for satellites, then the NOAA overall budget grew by only 2.6%. Polar orbiting satellites are vital to the nation, and we need to make sure that the system is operational. However, we can no longer continue to fund satellites at the expense of the NOAA programs and services. Finally, I want to address an issue of particular interest to my state, but also, I think, to the nation at large, and that is the NOAA's proposed relocation of the Marine Operations Center, also known as MOCP. As you know, as of December 2nd of last year, the GAO upheld a protest challenging NOAA's decision after the GAO found that the award of the MOCP lease to Newport, Oregon, violated the lease competition's solicitation for offers. GAO's conclusion prompted me to request additional information from both the Department of Commerce and from NOAA. Unfortunately, the information provided to this subcommittee has raised far more questions than it has answered. Among my concerns on this acquisition are the lack of any business case analysis, the avoidance of oversight by appropriate review boards, NOAA's exemption of the MOCP facility from its acquisition policies and procedures, the failure to formally evaluate and the potential use of federal dollars to ensure the wise use of taxpayer dollars, and the lack of a termination clause in the lease. That's why today I'm asking for an Inspector General investigation of NOAA and this acquisition process. When tens of millions of dollars are at stake, taxpayers should never have to hear that the federal government did not do its homework or its due diligence. Taxpayers deserve better, and I intend to make sure that NOAA and the Department of Commerce and the federal government are held to this high standard. The burden is on NOAA and the Department of Commerce to demonstrate their choices are the right choices, and I have yet to be convinced. NOAA is an integral part of creating and sustaining American jobs, educating our youth and teachers, and researching and developing innovative technologies that America needs to keep competitive. If the administration continues to propose inadequate funding for NOAA, we are at risk of losing much as a nation. So I hope that this hearing this morning will illuminate some of those challenges as we hear from Dr. Lubchenco, and we can discuss in the question and answer period how we can continue to make progress on our oceans.